what's the word? Peace, y'all. Make sure we live. Make sure we get on live. Oh. Doing a lot. Doing a lot right now. A lot going on in the world. I'm balancing work, cooking, taking care of this dog. I just uploaded a new video for my previous album, Escape Artist. Just uploaded a new visualizer to the mini CD. So if you got a mini CD, there's a new video out right now. You can go watch that. Shout out to those that supported. But let's get into it, man. We talk about a little controversy, a lot of controversy. And I'm going to talk about this in a way that's not going to get me canceled. Because I'm still in the cancel zone, unlike apparently one of my biggest inspirations, Kanye West. Kanye was definitely the reason I took music serious. Anybody that knows me in my early stages of my career, or just deciding to make music, it was when I heard Kanye on Hot 97 and everybody was dissing him, saying he was corny. And he eventually became the great. I knew it was fire back then. And from that point, I was like, oh, I could be myself and make music. I feel like Kanye musically has opened the door for a lot of artists that are like me, that didn't want to rap about things that I'm not really about. I always had rap ability, musical talent. I just didn't understand why every rapper had to be a gangster that was a gangbanger, shoot 'em up, robbing, all that stuff. Growing up. So for me, Kanye was the one where it's just like, oh, I could just be a college student and rap. And you know what I mean? And he opened a whole door. He opened the whole lane for the Lupe Fiasco, the Kendrick, the Joey Badass, the J. Cole, the Drake. I mean, he opened it for everyone that's like us, that just wants to make cool music, man. Don't want to play an image, And even if you did live that life, it's just like you don't have to rap about it and put it in music. Music's very spiritual, right? So to see the world and where it's at today, man, I mean, I don't know what reality we're in. I can't tell if it's real or not anymore, but so that's my background with Kanye. Kanye will always have a place. Like Kanye, his albums have gotten me through some of the toughest times of my life, brought me to tears numerous times, and got me through life. So it'll always musically have some place there for me. Now, interesting, I watched Tales from the Hood for the first time as an adult. It's like that's a movie that used to come on, and it's weird because it's like you got to rewatch certain, for people that's my age, going back and rewatching things that we were too young to understand. They put so much gems in movies and entertainment back then that if you weren't an adult and conscious, you weren't catching on to what was being said, what they was portraying to you, what the message was. It was just shot well, good plot, scary sometimes, funny, whatever. But there used to be a lot of gems, message, like the Wayans used to say, in entertainment. And as a kid, I remember Tales from the Hood just kind of being like a satire. I just remember people not the sentiment was that it's just a joke of a movie and it's like some BS, honestly, kind of like it's like a hood classic that's like was bad but ended up being a hood classic, kind of like Soul Plane, where it's like at first when it came out people was like shitting on it, but it ended up being a hood classic, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's how Tales from the Hood was, for me growing up. I mean, I was like 12 when it came out. All I remember is a scary doll. I just remember the scary doll scene and the slave doll biting people up. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I literally remember from the movie, and a couple laughs. Like, it wasn't, and it used to come on TV all the time, and I just, just watched it a few times as a kid, but I really watched it this weekend as an adult, and it's just crazy. This is why it's like, I'm hungry and I'm tired, but I said I'm going to get this live out because it's there. It's just, I thought of it. I almost did this last night, but I was just like, you know what? It's still in my mind. Still on my mind. I'm going to say what I need to say while I got that energy. And yeah, rewatch. That's some, I don't know, like the way things have, like this Kanye wearing a black leather KKK outfit during this same weekend. I rewatched Tales from the Hood. It just happened. I'm like, everybody, of course, why is Kanye wearing a KKK outfit? The same man who said George Bush don't care about black people. Is he even the same person? Sometimes I'm like, is he a clone? What's going on? But why would he wear this, right? And be the same person that put his neck and career on the line for black people by saying that on national television, right? And embarrassing moments, with the Taylor Swift Beyonce thing, whatever. Why would he wear this outfit that represents, domestic terrorism, that represents a lot of black bodies hanging throughout America, a lot of black blood of our ancestors, American ancestors, in America? Why would he wear this outfit to represent that? And so, okay, now we're going back and forth. Tales from the Hood. I'm rewatching Tales from the Hood. And it's 3 different short movies, for those who haven't watched it, in one. And it really, to me, it's the second one and the third one, where it's like the second one is about a white politician taking over a slave house, and the house being haunted with dolls that were previous slaves. And they talked about, like, how, hundreds of slaves got killed because they were about to be freed, and like that's why these slaves are still haunting this place or whatever. And it goes over the terrorism and hell that black people used to face physically in America to that depth. They talked about the hundreds of bodies. That's just one instance of like all these black slaves that were killed on this plantation or whatever. And then the next story, now this is the next story that like I don't remember ever seeing. And it's funny because I feel like I recognize the skit from DMX's album, or I don't know if it was DMX or Nas, but it's just, I just remember hearing it as a kid, where it's just like, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. And I didn't realize that this is from Tales from the Hood. And this is from this particular scene at the end of the movie, the last movie short of this 3-part movie series. And this part is about a gangbanger who was crazy, I don't give a fuck type gangbanger or whatever. And he gets a flashback of his entire life and all of this stuff at the end, like right before he was about to get, murdered again. He gets a flashback of his life, and you can't tell if it's a dream sequence or if it's really happening, where this woman takes him to a facility. He ends up being next to a white supremacist, Nazi kind of, neo-Nazi kind of guy. And they get into a back and forth. He punches him in the mouth, and the Nazi dude is just like, I like you. He's like, why? He's like, you're like us, because who is it that you're killing? Who is it that you're killing? You're doing our job for us. And you see the thug just, I forget the dude that plays him. I think he passed, actually, the dude that plays him. I feel like he used to be in Moesha. And he's just like tormented, like, and this white supremacist is telling him, you are doing our job for us, and we are more alike, because we trying to do the same thing. We trying to get rid of niggas. So this whole flashback thing, I'm like, this movie was deemed as corny at one point, from what I remember, or not corny, but just something like, I don't remember anyone talking about this part about how this plot, this strategy, this depth that was in the movie. It wasn't just some jokey, ha ha, laugh, scary. This movie intended to make you think and this is 1995, you know, that gangbanger and gangbangers around the country from whenever it started are basically doing the job of the KKK. The rapper, the gangbanger, it's like they're employed by the dominant society to rap about doing drive-bys on your mama crib and all sorts of wild, violent, Ku Klux Klan type of stuff. It's like you're a black Klansman. And after watching that movie, and then I see Kanye in a Klan's outfit, customized, I'm like, oh. I'm like, does he feel like he's contributed? Maybe he's produced a lot of music for a lot of rappers that's just like doing what is cool and what society said to do, which was, violent, gangster, the typical image. That typical image is why it's like a lot of people say, oh, you're so talented, you're so this, you're so that, why aren't you more popular? It's because I'm not, every song I'm doing is not on some blocks and glocks and the sensationalizing of the lowest part of black American culture, you know what I mean, in my opinion, because it's just destructive Klansman type activity. So I'm like, what is Kanye trying to say? I think it's the same message that was being told in Tales from the Hood that I just watched again, that the rappers, which is, it's not that, I mean, it is rappers in some cases, drill scene and all of this stuff. There's a lot of kids out here that I'm not even really in tune with. That's just like really doing drills, really killing people, really shooting mother, sons, you know what I mean? Taking away family members over some rap stuff where it's like Biggie, Tupac situations are happening all the time. And I always used to say this, and I'm just like, y'all know, like, that's why I can never fully, like, really embrace a lot of that gang banging tough talk stuff. It's like, I'll listen to it, don't get me wrong, it gets me hyped. I've been listening to Griselda since 2015, you know what I mean, Freddie Gibbs, I love all that stuff, but I appreciate artists that show all the sides of it and at least make me think. At least if you're going to portray some image or whatever, make me think, you know what I mean, as a deep thinking person. And, I see the relation in the two. It's like, why is he wearing this to piss people off and make people hate him even more? And I think it's to think, like, are you doing the Klansman's job? You know what I mean? Like, what part are you playing? Because it's a motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? If you want to be a poppin' artist, you do gotta play the game. You know what I mean? If I rapped about shooting people up more often, if I rapped about killing brothers and whatever, you know what I mean, I would be more famous. I'd probably more than likely have a deal by now if I portrayed that image that I'm some kingpin gangbanging dude, you know what I mean? But who's controlling these deals? Who are the people that have been a part of hip hop, investing, funding this type of rhetoric the whole time, whether it comes to the sexy reds that everybody loves to complain about? You know what I mean? I don't even mind sexy red music because I know of plenty dope female artists that don't rap like that, you know what I mean? And the gangsters, drill music, who's funding and promoting the destruction of the black community, right? And I think, I'm not sitting there saying I agree with Kanye or anything he's saying, but we are some black Klansmen ass dudes, you know what I mean? Not we, but there's a lot of black Klansmen that supposed to be on some gang banging, whatever, brotherhood stuff, finding a family. But all it's been doing is terrorizing our communities, whether it's, me being in a suburb of Montclair, which is right outside the hood, or, to every black city across America. It's like dominant society. When you work in corporate, you realize it's about automation. How do I make money in my sleep? How do I have something go on autopilot? Because I can't be up all night trading stocks or up all night reading it. It's about automation. How do I automate this task? That's all corporate and strategy and business is about, automation. And back again to Tales from the Hood. If it started from slavery, multi-million, billion-dollar industry of trading stocks and bonds, black people that built a lot of shit in this country, from free labor. If it started from that, and this dude burnt and killed all his slaves because they was about to be free, and that's how much of an uproar created for this one man plantation. And then it fast forwards into modern day gang banging, gangster music. How do if I'm a white supremacist, how do I automate something to still work for me and I don't have to even be involved in it? This is the way this is the deeper thinking that I don't know. I've always had this. I've always thought like this. This is why, I wasn't cool growing up. This is why I don't have a lot of friends, because it's hard for me to just hang around dudes that's just trying to do bad shit just to fit in and be cool. Because I always felt that I'm like, there's some system. There's something. I couldn't articulate it. I didn't know the research. But my spirit always told me, y'all, there's somebody else telling us to do this. You know what I mean? This is not natural. You know what I mean? To all the violence and stuff. It's not natural. There's something greater. There's a greater power orchestrating this and controlling these little pawns to automate the system of this shit that been going on, 1,000-year history. And yeah, Ye is my idol my musical idol growing up. Has a lot of money, and ability to say a lot of things that other people can't. And the people that control, like I said, I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I do and have been saying this, that is a fact, that the people that control our entertainment, what we watch, what we listen to, even down to the underground. I ain't forget about you underground bloggers, vloggers, curators. Y'all don't care about black people. You know what I mean? And y'all would wholeheartedly, completely just take hip hop away as a black thing if y'all could. You know what I mean? And y'all don't care about black people. A lot of non-black people in hip hop will just use a person to dry snitch on themselves. We already know about the Vlad and the Adam 22 and all this stuff. And even smaller levels. There's a bunch of smaller level ones that control shit, unfortunately. And hence makes my job as an artist harder, because I'm not begging nobody for no shit, and I'm not about to sit here and tap dance and rap about some shit just for your entertainment, even though consciously in my head I see what the fuck is going on and I see who's controlling shit. So that's always been my conflict, and why it takes me 20 years just to even scratch the surface. You know what I mean? Even though legends, even though literal icons have shouted me out and fuck with my music. This is why it takes me longer. It's all connected. I see it all as connected, and it's crazy, man. This reality, it's crazy. If you haven't watched Tales from the Hood as an adult, and even if you have, let me know in the comments or something if you know what I'm talking about with this connection, man. They really used to have these messages in these movies, even the corniest movies in the 90s, man. It was just always something for you to think about. And, open your minds, man. I think the more people are open minded and see the truth for what it is, we can at least defend ourselves. Black people stop being controlled by in every aspect of our lives, being controlled by someone else. And it does start with knowledge. Cheesy. It literally starts in the mind. If everyone at least just thinks more, and I think like that's what Kanye is trying to do. He's doing some radical, crazy, like saying some wild stuff, disrespectful stuff to, because he feels like black culture has been disrespected. So yeah, Khalil, peace to you, man. And I listen, man. I know the bandwagon right now is to try and cancel Kanye and hate on Kanye, but man, listen, he made some amazing music. He's been there for black people, and his methods may be crazy, but shit, I understand the KKK outfit, man. He's sending a message. He's sending a message. Black people are doing Klansman type shit. You know what I mean? It's not even about protecting the community no more, which is what gangs started for, We're just at the point of, when people say black on black crime, yeah, it's corny, yeah, it's out of context. It's an out of context statement to say black on black crime because obviously people are committing crimes on themselves. But hey, man, listen, at some point you got to take accountability, and us as a race, if we're talking as a race, shit, man, yeah, we're doing their jobs for them. So, let's open our minds up a little bit more and maybe not look at things so face value and with emotions. All right, I'm about to finish cooking. Thanks for watching. I'm happy I got this all for y'all. Escape Artist out now on mini CD, regular CD, digital download. Peace.